Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing you another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at a bunch of Neca King Kong figures. I happened to stumble across this King Kong in the center at Target the other day. He was sitting on the shelf in the NECA section. He was part of a Father's Day bundle with 4 different NECA figures, and I knew there was going to be more. So I asked the clerk to check in the back, and she wrote me out a few other figures I was looking for. This King Kong here, he's been out for a little while. He's sort of an illustrated version. He's the least desirable variant. Looks like someone just threw paint on him. But I decided to pick him up at the same time. Thought it was my lucky day for King Kong figures. I have the original NECA release of King Kong. Well, not the original one, but the original one in this new series of releases, and he's a great figure. So I figured let's get the variants. I'm going to assume these are all pretty much the exact same base figure, just with different accessories and possibly paint jobs, maybe different heads. We will check all that out in this video. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. As you can see, King Kong beating on his chest, screaming, the different shades all over him. Top, King Kong. Side, got him there. Other side, a little bit different expression, different head. The bottom, a bunch of credits, and a barcode in case that helps anybody. And in the back, a bunch of different poses from yours truly. These are all NECA Ultimate figures. They've got the window packaging. Here he is inside. Like I said, the least desirable variant. Very odd paint scheme. Probably could have skipped on this guy. But what the hell. Then we got this one. This one is King Kong fighting some creatures. You can see he's got the stick he's holding here. King Kong. Both sides. His barcode. If that helps anybody, just give the UPC number to a clerk with a scanner and they'll tell you if they have it or not. They seem to be tracking the NECA figures a little better than they used to. And if they have this guy, they probably have the entire Father's Day bundle. Here he is in there. Stick, extra head, and there are some creatures presumably behind him. And the third King Kong. This is from the original film on top of the building. He's got the chains on. One side beating on his chest. Other side looking angry still. Here's his barcode. And in the back, here he is in the city with the plane after him. And a bunch of different photos of King Kong. So, let's check all these guys out. Alright, now that we got these guys out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. They do come with quite a bit of stuff. The illustrated King Kong, he comes with 1 alternate pair of hands and 2 different heads. I believe that's the same thing that the original NECA King Kong came with. And then these other 2 versions, I'm going to call them version 3 and version 4. They come with even more stuff. So if you haven't got King Kong yet, now's your chance to get one with even more accessories for the same price. King Kong version 3, he's a stick King Kong. He comes with 2 creatures, a giant stick, 2 heads, and then 6 hands. And then version 4, the airplane King Kong, he also comes with 6 different hands, 2 heads, some shackles, and an airplane that's scaled up to him. I personally don't have a lot of use for that airplane as it's way too small to accommodate my general action figure collection, but it's still a pretty cool piece nonetheless. And one thing that was just a little bit disappointing, King Kong version 3 and version 4 are the exact same figure, same heads, same bow damage, same everything. I was hoping there would be at least some difference to justify my purchase. And then here they are, broken down as far as they can go, with all of their removable parts detached. And let's throw version 1 into the mix. Here are all 4 of the recent NECA King Kong figures with all their accessories laid out. In this video, we're going to take a look at each one of the figures. We're going to look at their accessories, height, and articulation. We'll compare them with each other and try to decide which one is the best. So let's start off with the regular version 1 King Kong. So here's version 1 of NECA's recent King Kong figures. This guy came out a little more than 6 months ago. I did a separate video review on him. If you want to check him out, I'll put a link in the description. He's a pretty good looking figure, nice detail. His face looks pretty good. Eyes, a little bit wonky, a little bit dull. He's got some damage all over him. Little scratches, bloodied up. Honestly, I would have liked to have had at least one clean version. Does have double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. The texturing is very nice. The paint job, you can see light brown, dark brown, some black and gray mixed in. Very nice wash going on. They did a very nice job with the detail on this guy. You see that different sort of material on the palm of his hand. I like that. Excellent job. This figure's been out for a while, and now there are 4 different variations of him. Here would be version 1, broken down as far as he can go. He has a total of 4 hands and 2 heads. And I'm pretty confident all 4 of these King Kong figures have the exact same body, just a little bit of different head and hands. We will find out as we get through this video. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And he is articulate enough to actually beat onto his chest. The double jointed elbows and hinged wrists help with that. And here's his other pair of hands. I would say these are some open grabbing hands, maybe some throwing hands. Now let's look at his heads. I would describe them both as angry, but one's a little bit more angry. One on the left has his mouth semi-open, and the one on the right, he is screaming. Here's Kong with his first head. Then, with his second head, screaming out in anger or pain. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height and his articulation. I'm only going to do that with this first figure, as I'm pretty sure they have the exact same body, exact same height and articulation on all 4 of these figures. So, from bottom to top, he's sitting at about 8.1 inches tall, which can translate to about 20.5 centimeters. Now let's look at his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side like so. It can also rotate to the traditional fashion. His head can go up and down pretty far. Can tilt from one side to the other, give him a nice amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint goes out about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows in that unique Neca fashion. They've got the joint between the bicep and forearm. Here's the top part going in, then the bottom part. It does have rotation both at the top and at the bottom part of the joint. His wrist here, it can rotate and it's hinged as well. His torso's got a ball joint here, can rotate around, go forward and back. Very nice range of motion there. Legs on ball joints, it could go out this far. They can rotate independently of the ball. They can go forward about that far, back, not too much. Double jointed knees. Go back about that far, and there's rotation at the top and bottom as well. Then his ankle here, it can go up and down. Pretty nice mount, mine's a little tight. And it can tilt and rock as well. Now on to version 2 of Kong. This was my least desirable of the 4 variants. This one looks like someone just threw paint all over him. He comes with the exact same stuff as the first version of Kong. So let's take a quick peek. Pretty sure it's the same sculpt and accessories, everything identical, except the paint job. This one does have a crazy paint job. Still has the wonky eyes. Mostly it's the same, except this weird shading up top here. Like I said before, this is my least wanted of the 4 variants, and I only got him because I felt lucky getting version 3 and 4. And then here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. So far, exactly the same as version 1. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Then, with his open hands. Then there are his heads. He has the same 2 angry heads, one with the mouth open and one with it open and screaming wide. Here's his first angry head with the wonky eyes, and here's his second, angrier head. So looking at version 1 and version 2 next to each other, they are 100% the same. Same accessories, same sculpt, just a different paint job. They have the exact same articulation, no differences at all. Here's version 3. He is so far a Target exclusive. I believe it's just going to be Target exclusive for the first couple months. He's part of 4 different NECA figures that are exclusively available at Target around the Father's Day season. This version here, he comes with a total of 6 hands. 2 gripping hands are the addition. Then he has 2 different heads, and both the heads appear to be new. They should be interchangeable with the previous Kong figure as well. He also has a stick, and the gripping hand should allow him to hold the stick. Then he has 2 creatures to fight. A pterodactyl type creature and a sort of slug or lizard creature. So you get quite a bit with this guy. If you didn't get the original King Kong, you still want to get one, I would get either version 3 or 4. They have more accessories for the same price. Let's take a quick look at them. So I believe it is the exact same Kong figure, just a different head. This one has a hinged jaw. That is very cool. I like that a lot. Mouth seems to be a little crooked on mine. I should be able to fix that pretty easily. But as a whole, he still has the damage on the same places. I will take a look later in this video to make sure it's the same body, but I'm pretty confident this is the same Kong as version 1. And here's version 3, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out all of his accessories. Here's this guy with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Nothing new here. And then here are his open hands. And then here are his semi-open gripping hands. These are the new pair of hands that have not come with the previous Kongs. This will allow him to hold his stick. Here are his two heads. One has the articulated jaw, and one has the closed mouth. The one with the closed mouth has quite a bit of bow damage on it. Pretty nice to have two completely different heads with this release. Here's his first head. This is the one with the articulated mouth. And here's his second head. This one has the closed mouth and bow damage on the sides. Now let's look at his stick or his club. Nothing too exceptional here. Just looks like something you'd find out in your yard. The sculpt and paint job are decent though. It definitely looks like exactly like it's supposed to. Here's Kong holding the stick, and I took the screaming head from the first release and popped it on this guy, showing you the heads are interchangeable between all the releases. Now let's look at his creature accessories. First of all, we have this pterodactyl thing. Looks very nice. The sculpt, you can see the different sort of material under his wings, his body. Looks quite different. Very nicely done. The backside, nice design on the back of his wings. In addition to that, this guy actually has some articulation. Head on some kind of ball joint, can rotate around, go up and down the tiniest bit. And his mouth is hinged. Very nice. Then we've got this lizard type creature. This thing's crawling around. Looks very nice. It's got the fins on the back. You can see his stomach sculpted very nicely. This thing also has a ball joint for the head. Can go from side to side, up and down, rotate around here. Very nice that they gave these little buggers articulation. Here's Kong screaming at that lizard. Then trying to hit this flying creature with a stick. And then looking at version 1 next to version 3, they are 100% the same body. Just that version 3 and 4 have some additional hands and 2 new heads. So here's the 4th version of Kong. I dubbed this one the plain version. This one has the same heads and hands as version 3. We've got the hinged jaw and the closed mouth. Then we have the open hands, gripping hands, and fist hands. What this one comes with that's different is he has 2 shackles to attach to his wrists, and he also has an airplane. I believe this guy's supposed to be from the end of the original King Kong film. So let's take a quick look. It's really just a little more of the same. The same head, the same body, same bow damage. There's absolutely nothing different on the body from version 1 and 3. And then here's this guy, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's look at his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. Here's his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Then, with his next pair of hands, these are his semi-open gripping hands. And then his final pair of hands, these are his open, outstretched hands. I describe them as grabbing or throwing hands. Here are his heads. One has the articulated jaw, and one has the closed mouth and battle damage. Here's his first head. This one has the articulated jaw. The jaw's a little bit straighter on this one. Here's his second head. This one has the closed mouth and has bow damage on both sides. Here are his shackles. Metal circle, gonna go around his wrists. They don't open, you have to pop his hands out. Little chain at the back. Here's Kong without the shackles. And here's Kong with the shackles on. Now let's look at his plane. This is an old school plane. You can see it's got the propellers at the front. They're spinning. It can actually rotate. It's a two-seater plane here. You can see the guy at the back has a machine gun aimed at Kong. Overall, looks pretty cool. Only bit of articulation is going to be the front here. Too small to really do anything with in the action figure collection, but it definitely is a cool thing for Kong to have. Here's Kong holding the plane. Didn't work out quite as good as I hoped. It's more of a balancing act to get the plane to sit on his hand. So looking at version 4 next to version 3, they are once again the exact same body. So versions 1 through 4, the exact same body, exact same sculpt, exact same articulation, and 3 of the 4 have the exact same paint job. Kind of annoying to have 4 of these Kong figures and not one of them is clean. They all have a little bit of damage on them. So if you have the original Kong, it's almost pointless to get the new ones, except they have cool accessories. And if you skip the first Kong, it's definitely pointless to get him if you're going to get any of the new ones. My personal favorite, it would definitely be the Creature Pack. Seems to have the most stuff and most display options. Here's King Kong climbing a skyscraper in my action figure city, holding a woman, getting to the top. Here's Kong at the top of a skyscraper, and we got the planes buzzing around him. Until Kong here finally gets angry enough, grabs one of the planes, and throws it to its destruction. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other King Kong and Gorilla figures. Here are all 4 versions of the current Neca Kong. Neca did make an older King Kong from Skull Island, and that Kong's a little bit different. I'd like to track one down if I can locate one for a reasonable price. Then with all 4 of these Kong figures, here are all their accessories laid out. Which one is your favorite? My personal favorite is version 3 with the creatures. I really don't see anyone answering version 1 or 2. It's really a choice between 3 or 4. Drop me a line in the comments below. Which one do you like best? Here he is, next to the recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse Injustice Gorilla Grodd. Then, next to the DC Direct Justice Gorilla Grodd. I guess that's one thing I'm going to do with these King Kong figures. I'm going to have a little army of gorillas for Grodd to command. Here are all the gorillas in my collection right now. I do plan to locate the Silver Platinum Chase variant of Gorilla Grodd eventually. I think I'm going to use these King Kong gorillas as Kong, and then also as some of Gorilla Grodd's troops. The illustrated version, he's probably going to be one of his best warriors, covered in war paint. Here are a couple of gorillas wandering through the Congo. They feel like something's not right. The 2 gorillas are curiously checking out these eggs. Just as he starts to grab one of the eggs, it opens up, startling the gorilla. Something begins to emerge from the egg. Before you know it, both these gorillas are in big trouble. A little bit of time passes, they wake up, they're dazed and confused, until the unimaginable happens and something bursts out of their chest. And this is how your gorilla aliens are born. Here's a couple of NECA Kenromage gorilla aliens. Here are the Kong figures next to the NECA gorilla aliens. He can also work as a fully articulated 7-inch scale Gorilla Grodd substitute to take on the Flash. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. King Kong is this giant figure in the movie, but I plan to use this action figure to scale up with my other 7-inch figures. Here he is with some of his NECA brothers. Since NECA figures are traditionally the 7-inch scale, although Kong is definitely not, I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect and work my way smaller. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then with some McFarlane toys. And here with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, these Neca King Kong figures are fantastic. Their paint job and sculpt are excellent. Their articulation is very good. This is one of the times that Neca executed the double jointed elbow and knee by putting a little joint between, and it actually doesn't look bad. Which one of these figures is your favorite? Drop me a line in the comments below. My favorite is the creature and stick version. I can't imagine there's anyone out there that's going to pick the illustrated version, but you never know. And I don't know who would pick the first version. Sure, it's the first one that I got, and it's almost as good as the other ones, but it's lacking so much in the accessory department. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.